Okay, so what is an eating disorder?
To me, an eating disorder is like when people like make themselves ill with like not eating, or I guess they could overeat too. It's a sad little scenario. Basically, people like either overeating because of strong feelings they have about being insecure and stuff. So that's what I eating disorder.
An eating disorder is when you have serious mental problems and you think you're fat when you're not. So people are really throw up their food, or they don't eat any food at all, or they exercise too much, and it's usually because someone has told you in the past that you're fat, and it's usually girls because they're crazy. That's all.
What is a mental illness?
Something that suppresses some part of a normal function in a human, but it sometimes can be beneficial and it gives somebody a trait that's far superior to others, such as an autism, and other times it is a little bit disabling.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are these people like?
Fun loving.
Normal people, but just have a condition that sometimes like alters how they act in public settings, or like impairs them socially.
Mental illness is pretty much any like disease that the person has inside their head that they have convinced themselves they're sick inside their head.
Mental illness is, I don't know, Down syndrome, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, mood disorders.
I guess it's like when something goes wrong with your chromosomes, like your chromosome, this number or something like that. So
I think it has to do with human reproductive stuff. Science. It's something that we should all understand.
Eating disorder is bulimia or anorexia. You throw up after meals, or you just push your food around the plate to look like you're eating, but you're really not. That's all I know.
Eating disorders are when you have
poor, like, what's the word?
It's when you're anorexic or bulimic and you either don't eat.
Poor body image. You think badly about yourself.
Well, typically, it can be a result of different things.
Unhealthy eating habits.
But typically, it's when you don't
Sometimes
eat.
you don't eat at all.
Or just have eating problems because
you want to be skinnier.
An obsession with
some people
exercise.
have it because they're stressed out.
Some people have it because they...
You primarily see it in girls. You never have an issue with boys and eating disorders.
So no, you can with like
very
wrestling, like wrestlers with guys, they like want to make their weight.
anorexic.
Okay, you know, I've seen that.
Yeah.
happen.
Or if you're just self-conscious and you're a guy.
Is overeating one?
Is that an eating disorder?
Because I have that.
I have that.
Binge
I
eating.
eat my feelings.
You eat a lot and then you don't eat any.
And
An eating disorder would be, girls that have problems with their bodies, and they either grow it up or they just don't eat enough. That's an eating disorder.
I think an eating disorder is mental thought of maybe food. I don't even know. This is a tough question. This is a good one. I guess my limited experience in understanding eating disorders like bulimia and anorexia is a mental image that someone is so, I guess, deformed or not in the image that they would like to be made, so that they physically try to manipulate that with either not eating food or purging themselves of food. So I guess if someone asked me what an eating disorder was, I would say that it was a mental distortion of one's body that manifests in the physical consumption or purging consumption of food.
Well, eating is definitely a hunger is an instinct, just like many others, and the use of that is, I think, it's taking away the virtue of those instincts. There's all instincts can be abused or not abused, and they're good things, but you take it too far, and it can turn into a bad thing, like with many other things. And if you ever saw some culture where You know, I heard this described to me was where, say you have a platter and there's a steak, and you almost do like a striptease with the steak because everyone's so obsessed with the food. You know, you'd think it's pretty weird. But that's something that happens with all sorts of other things in this world all the time, and even for people that do have eating disorders, right? So it's definitely some sort of distortion about something good within us that's distorted for something.